Hello and welcome to another episode of Anomalies. Um, this is Dan, one of the co-hosts. I guess people would know who I am by now, maybe not. Uh, we usually talk with people in the United States about what's going on. And if you think about the paranormal, it's not confined to one country. The United States is not just the only game in town. So, Dave, I think we're going to push the envelope a little tonight. Um, we're going to start with a Facebook friend of mine, Laura Van Zuli, who lives in Salt Lake City. She and I have talked because she has a podcast a little bit like ours, and then she has some guests that from Argentina and Germany that she's going to invite in to share with us some of their research about strange things in Argentina. So, Dave, are we ready for this great adventure,
I
international conversation? Are you
think we
ready?
are ready. We've got a bunch of very smart, informed guests here all over the planet. Some of them have stayed up late to be with us, so we appreciate that very much. And we've got a lot of information to go through, so we're just going to go ahead and start with Laura V here. And I'm ready to go. Everyone else is too, I think.
So, Lord, let's just start with you. So, you're not originally from the United States. You live in Salt Lake City, but you're from Argentina, correct?
Yes, I
How
was
did you
born in
get?
Buenos Aires. Yeah.
How did you get to? How did you get from Argentina to Salt Lake City?
Well, we lived all our lives with my family in Argentina, in Buenos Aires. Buenos Aires is the main city there. But in 2001, problems with the government and the people, the things that always happen sometimes in Latin America, we decided to come here to United States to work and live here with my family. And I love mysteries. So since 2018, I just you recently said I had my show. It's Antes de Medianoche in Spanish because it's for the Spanish speaking people in United States and around the world. It's before midnight in English, and we have a lot of mysteries there with investigators, guests, and witness, sometimes, writers, and we did all of the things about UFOs and paranormal.
So what draws you to all that stuff? Why are you interested in that?
Well, when I was little, I think that I was 6 years old, I live in a countryside in a little town in Buenos Aires. It calls General Pacheco. And we lived there, and in those days, the UFO sightings were very frequent in the world, and it was around the Cold War and the man in the moon, the 60s, the 70s. So my father, he saw something up in the sky one night when he was coming back from work, and he was waiting the bus in a desolate road, and he saw something. He looked up the sky and he saw a disc and a plate. He always was talking about this many times. He was really shocked about the things that he saw, a kind of light, with different colors. And he came home and he asked for pencils and papers, and he started to drew something, and he drew flying saucer and UFO, and he mentioned that. And I think that since that time I started with all of this stuff because I collected news from the newspapers and books and stories. I went to see some investigators and conferences, and I think that the thing started that day when my father saw this in the sky.
Sounds like that hooked you in, your dad's experience. And you weren't with him, correct? You weren't with your dad when he saw the flying saucer. Is
No,
that correct?
he was by himself, but I watched these kind of things in other moments in my life, lights in the sky. Mhm.
Yeah. Well, that'll hook you in. Now, we want to be cognizant of the fact that you have some guests that you've invited. to join
Yeah.
us today. And they're not necessarily English-speaking guests. They are in Argentina and speak predominantly Spanish. And we have someone to help interpret what they say. So why don't you introduce your guests to our listening audience?
Okay, it's a pleasure. I talked to you about this because you asked me for paranormal and UFO sighting and stories from my country, Argentina, and Latin America. And I was thinking in these excellent investigators that we have in Argentina. So I invited them to come. And thank you very much because you accept this. He is Gustavo Cia, is a psychologist, and he's an investigator too from Argentina. And my other friend is Carlos Vales. He's an investigator too. And Aine del Rio, she is helping with translating, the words to English, and she lives in Germany, but she is an investigator too. She knows a lot of things about paranormal and UFO sightings.
So there's weird stuff going on in Germany too. So let's start. Do you want to start with Gustavo? Maybe he can talk to us a little bit about some of the cases he's investigated in Argentina. And I think we have some stuff maybe we could even share on our screen. You sent some photos too. So let's start with Gustavo if he wants to talk about some of the things he's investigated.
Okay.
Okay, Aine.
Presentate, abro el sistema.
Okay.
Estamos. Ujú.
Begin
Vamos a
step by step, Laura.
Sí.
Mi nombre es Gustavo Gabriel Cia, soy psicólogo. He
I
trabajado,
am Gustavo Gabriel Cia, I am a psychologist.
he empezado mi trabajo en lo anómalo.
He's starting his work like with anomalies
En el Instituto de Parapsicología de la Universidad de El Salvador.
in the University of Salvador in the Institute of Parapsychology
Con el padre Enrique Novillo Pauli, ya fallecido.
with the father that is passed away, Novillo, ¿cómo es el nombre?
Enrique Novillo Pauli.
Novillo Pauli, Enrique Novillo Pauli. It's called.
Who was studying with Ryan in Duke University. Okay? Él estudió en la Universidad de Duke con Ryan.
Okay, we're trying, yeah.
Okay.
Ya lo dijiste en inglés, dale.
Y bueno, también empecé a investigar el fenómeno de las luces, fenómenos de abducción, en relación con...
Also investigating light phenomena and abductions.
Con la perspectiva, bueno, de la investigación que había comenzado John Mack.
With the same perspective that John Mack had start to investigate.
Yeah, John Mack, very well known ufologist. Too bad he's passed.
Ok, se me sigue escuchando, ¿no?
Sí, sí, perfecto.
Actualmente estamos armando un grupo de trabajo terapéutico e investigación sobre casos de abducción.
At this moment, they are working in a group, making a group to make investigation, abduction, and the psychology and way with psychology.
Con resultados muy interesantes que en un futuro espero poder compartir con ustedes.
With many interesting efforts that he can share in the future with us.
Ok. No sé si tengo que empezar con la presentación, Laura,
Sí,
o va a empezar...
Sí,
okay.
sí, dijo que vayas presentando tu caso. Well, we start now to present the first case. We have two cases. And the first case is the Telen case.
Ok. Bueno, este caso, digamos, está ubicado en la provincia de La Pampa.
It just happens in one province in Argentina named La Pampa, that is near to the province Buenos Aires.
Y esta zona, que es la zona norte de La Pampa,
And this
El
zone
cor-
that is in the north from La Pampa,
el corredor de la Ruta Nacional 10,
in the way from the way the national number 10,
que tiene una variedad de avistamientos de fenómenos luminosos, mutilaciones de ganado, huellas, marcas, algunos casos de abducción y sobre todo pérdida de 77 litros y litros de agua de tanques australianos.
this is a hotspot, this zone, and we find in this zone many different manifestations for the phenomenon, like abductions, like lights in the sky, and so many others, but principally two, they are lost in many gallons of water. But the tanks, the Australian tanks, that the water is also disappear in seconds or minutes. The water is away.
And what
Las-
year?
Pregunta en qué año pasó. That's happened normally and often, so often. But we can answer that also.
Las anomalías ocurren desde siempre, en realidad, porque están registradas por las señas mapuche y ranquel, sobre luces y sobre fenómenos extraños.
Pero Agustín, déjame hacer más cortitos porque si no me olvido pedacitos. This phenomenon happened since we have registered from the originally. It means for somebody Indios called Indios or called Aborigine or called originary people. Since this time, we have registered that this phenomenon happened in all the region, in South America, and principally in Argentina, principally on these hotspots.
Okay. What year is this from? This file?
Yes. Yes, this file is about this case. Está preguntando si es sobre esto, ¿no? El caso.
Hay una zona en La Pampa que es Jahuel del Monte, Telén y Colonia y Victorica, que es la zona de mayor incidencia de estos fenómenos.
So there is a zone in this province, La Pampa, and one of the points is Telen, Victorica, and others in this zone. And we are talking today about this case that is in Telen, in La Pampa.
En este caso tenemos una variedad de casos importantes en relación con policías como testigos.
Particularly, it's very interesting in this case. We have many policemen that make this register, and it's very interesting and very important because it's somebody that you can normally believe, that say it's not like somebody that for normal people citizenship that no, that is many cases from the police that they are registered.
Respondiéndole a David, el incremento
Answer
de
to
estos
David.
casos, el incremento de estos casos comenzó a partir de 1983, teniendo un foco importante en 94 al 96 y continúa hasta hoy.
Okay, the cases are increased since 83, and then a lot more between 84 to 86, and that's so to now to today. This is the same. We have always many registers about the different phenomena on so many. This is a really a very interesting and important hotspot.
Okay.
So question I have for Gustavo. So we're talking about this particular place in Argentina is both a UFO hotspot, and there are people there who are claiming to be abducted by aliens. Is that correct?
¿Entendiste?
Más o menos.
Bueno,
Traducirme.
Daniel,
Or less?
yeah, you are asking of the people in the zone have registered from aliens.
Mhm.
Sí,
Ok.
está preguntando si hay registros de alien en la zona.
Hay muchísimos registros de aliens, ¿sí?
So many.
Y sobre todo ha habido dos casos famosos de encuentros, en realidad más que bueno, un caso de abducción y un encuentro de tercero o cuarto tipo.
One from abduction and one for the third or first type.
Famoso,
Encontrar.
¿no?
Very famous.
El primero fue investigado por otro grupo, el del CIFO.
The first is for another group investigated that names CIFO.
Del 84, el caso Plattner.
The case Plattner in the year 84.
Y el segundo investigado en primer lugar por mí, luego por Carlos Vales.
And the second that Gustavo investigated at first and Carlos later.
El caso del cabo Sergio Pucheta.
The case from the cab Sergio Pucheta, that's also a policeman. He was also a policeman.
Con apoyo de un grupo de técnicos, al cual quiero mencionar sobre todo a Miguel Sanso.
With a group from techniques that we want to mention especially to Miguel.
Ok.
Miguel, ¿cómo
Sanso.
es? Sanso. Miguel Sanso.
Hay muchos casos de abducción, pero no se centran solamente en La Pampa, hay muchos en Buenos Aires también.
We have
y en
also
Córdoba.
many cases from abductions, not only in La Pampa, also in Buenos Aires too. Buenos Aires, I mean province Buenos Aires. So many people think this is capital, but province is a big, huge region, a huge province.
Los casos de abducción son un capítulo aparte que merecen hacer, digamos, una profundización, ¿sí? Porque va más allá de lo que mucha gente imagina como, digamos, como origen y causa.
The case of
del
abduction,
fenómeno.
we need to make a deep investigation. We can't take these cases so light. We need to investigate. We need to go deep because nobody can imagine how is the many implications, how is complicated.
Obviamente descartando en la entrevista clínica casos de abusos infantiles y patologías como esquizofrenia y otros trastornos de personalidad, ¿no?
As psychologists, they take care that don't be confused about pathologies like schizophrenia or something like that, or they're abusing or child abusing or something like that. They take care that there's not confusion with this typology of cases.
So one thing you might want to share, Gustavo, is I used to belong to MUFON, and MUFON has a chapter in Argentina, but I was associated with something called the Experiencers Resources Team, and I dealt with people who claimed to be abducted, and some of them, the initial kind of my reaction to them was that they were crazy, and they were not crazy. They just had a very weird experience that they were like schizophrenia that they were experiencing. So I wonder if he wants to comment about that.
Yeah.
Bueno, en realidad el fenómeno es real.
The phenomenon is real. It's not.
Yes.
Siempre hay que descartar algunos casos especiales, pero en general.
Yeah, sometimes happen that we need to say this case is not real because of these pathologies, but normally the case is real.
Pero los casos son reales y llevan protocolo de estudios y sobre todo también trabajamos mucho sobre la contención digamos, del evento traumático que les ocurre a estas personas.
We take care about the people that they live a traumatic event, and they use form. They used to be a form, a very professional form, to be sure that the case is real.
Los casos en Argentina muestran variantes con los casos de Estados Unidos.
In Argentina, the case have a little variant, is a little bit different that in the United States.
No encontramos implantes, pero sí punciones.
We
y,
not found normally implants, but yes, some kind of injury.
Y bueno, las experiencias tienen digamos, un orden, ¿no? Muy tradicional.
And the experiences have also a very clear and regular structure that we find always like that.
Separation, orderly, and return.
Can you ask Gustavo how many abduction cases he's dealt with? Numeral? How many?
¿Cuántos, si tenemos una estadística de los casos de abducciones que tenemos en el país?
En primer lugar, esta investigación la inició el doctor Néstor Berlanda con algunos
first,
casos.
this Dr. Néstor Berlanda have started with one of the cases, very known also.
Pero actualmente estamos recién comenzando a armar una estadística de casos.
But at the moment we are starting to make a statistic about cases.
Pero los casos son no tan numerosos como en Estados Unidos, pero sí con connotaciones de estrés postraumático. Algo.
The cases, they are not so many like in the United States, but they are, me perdí, es un poquito largo, me estás haciendo.
Sí.
Que me cortes un poquito porque me...
Bueno, que los casos presentan en general trastornos de estrés postraumático.
Yes, they have post-traumatic stress. And this is very often very normal as in these cases.
PTSD. The people I
PTSD,
worked
yes.
with,
Yes.
people I worked with were suffering from PTSD because of their abduction experiences or their contact experiences.
Yes. Sí está sufriendo la gente, ¿no? Por la experiencia de las abducciones. Por ese estrés.
John Mack, en su libro Contacto y posterior,
John Mack in his book Contact, no sé cómo es la posterior, ¿es otro título?
No. En otros libros.
In another books also.
Investigó casos de adultos, niños en Estados Unidos y en Zimbabue.
He investigated child abductions in United States, also in Zimbabwe.
Y en la mayoría de los casos encontró trastornos de estrés postraumático.
And this PTSD, they are also there in many cases.
Y el trastorno de estrés postraumático es la respuesta de un trauma anómalo, algo que ocurrió, ¿sí?
And das PTSD is something that happened because something is happened. So this stress comes from something that really happened.
Posteriormente estamos trabajando con casos que coinciden con un estudio que realizó Norman Don y Gilda Moura.
We are working also with one study that realized these persons.
Que implican no solamente una alta sensibilidad, nuevas habilidades y algunas habilidades paranormales,
that indicate paranormal abilities and a high level of sensibility of these people.
y también, como este estudio indica, un aumento en la frecuencia de los ciclos cerebrales.
And a high level increase from the brain cycles also.
De aproximadamente entre 40 y 50 Hz.
from 40 to 50 hertz.
O estamos hablando de nivel beta más,
We are talking about from beta plus level.
mayor que incluso algunos meditadores.
And this is also bigger as or a high as people that make meditation.
Lo cual está indicando que además de todo el efecto traumático de las experiencias,
This indicates as seguí, casi redondeo la idea.
que lo que está indicando es que más allá del evento traumático,
Sí, ¿qué más?
la idea es que, como dijo Gilda Mouras, es una onda de despertar de conciencia. O sea,
This is not only an traumatic event, like Gilda Moura says, that is also a new conscious from the human being. Is starting to born.
recomiendo altamente el estudio de ella publicado en Journal of Scientific Exploration.
Very recommended, highly very recommended this article that Sheila is publicating in this journal. El journal, otra vez el nombre.
Journal of Scientific Exploration.
Journal of Scientific Exploration.
Lo que hablaría de que están produciendo modificaciones o mutaciones en las personas abducidas.
And that can indicate for sure that they are making mutations in the people that's abducted.
Bueno, quería comenzar con este caso,
I want to
Telen
start
File.
with this case, the Telen File.
Bueno, el caso Telen comienza el 15 de junio de 1997.
To start in June, from June 1997.
A las 2:05 de la mañana,
2 hours AM.
Cuando la F-100 del comisario David Gallego, el del medio,
When the Ford 100, a truck from ¿de quién was? Perdón.
del subcomisario David Gallego.
David Gallego, the subcomisario, is the policeman, somebody in the police.
Junto con el sargento Pilar Badal y el oficial José Serna.
Together with the sergeant.
Who are the gentlemen in this photo?
¿Quiénes son las personas de la foto? Los que estamos nombrando.
Do you recognize me? Yeah, I was very young.
No, you've changed. Gustavo, which one are you?
To the right,
Are you-
to the left,
you on the right?
the person to the right from the front.
Yeah, that's you. Okay. I see the resemblance.
Yeah, Gustavo.
resemblance.
Yeah.
We came for a party, for a wedding. Y en la mañana siguiente fuimos a relevar el caso. Veníamos de una boda.
Yeah, they are coming back from a wedding, and yeah, they are coming to investigate the case at this zone. I want to say Gustavo said before that these people, the three of them, Cabo, Sergeant, and the other Sergio, was also they was together in this Ford 100.
Muy bien, comenzamos con el caso entonces. Hay un antecedente. El miércoles anterior, 2 viajantes fueron seguidos por una luz celeste.
One week before, after the two two people were shared for a blue light, a blue sky light.
Radicaron la denuncia en la comisaría de Telem.
They make the presentation, the denuncia in the police.
Y la noche del 15 de junio, a las 2:05,
On the 15th June, past midnight.
próxima
Sí,
diapositiva.
ya está.
Ahí.
What are we looking at now?
And this night, Gus, no se te escucha, se te fue la voz. Fíjate que muteaste el teléfono o algo. ¿No te escuchamos? Very sorry.
Ahí está.
Please, yes, now.
Bueno, comenzaron el recorrido tradicional, que era de Telén a Victorica y de Victorica a Telén. Ahí está
Yeah,
marcado
we
con
can
lo rojo.
see here in the map, they starting to make a round, the traditional round, in the information from the police. Ne? This is the round that they are make traditionally, yes, to patrol, no?
Yes. Tomaron la ruta 10,
They take the route number 10.
subieron por el camino vecinal al costado de Victorica.
Here, then they take this way to Victorica.
Y en un camino vecinal paralelo a la ruta 10,
On a parallel way to the route.
a los 50 metros de comenzar ese camino vecinal, empezaron a ver una luz.
They started to say in this point near Victorica, 50 meters away from the starting for this way, they're starting to see this light that we have here.
Yes. La descripción, primero y principal, las luces de los patrulleros suelen llamar la atención de estas luces.
First thing, the light of the patrols, the lights are attracted. These lights, this type of lights, they are attracted by the light of the patrols. Normally.
Comienza a subir desde esa luz desde los caldenes a su derecha y colocarse arriba del patrullero.
They are in the zone trees named caldenes, and that is a zone from caldenes. And this light start to come from this zone from caldenes and start to share the patrol up the patrol.
La luz, según Gallego, tenía una forma de copa con una luz vertical muy fina arriba.
Gallego says that is like a cup, the light, the form from the light, with a very skinny light on the top, like we can say, we can see in this design here.
Y debajo, luz blanca fuerte iluminando la camioneta.
And under this light, a very strong light, direct on the track.
Los acompaña en toda la trayectoria hasta la entrada de Telem.
Light in the track. They are going to Telen here. On the light is all the way are all the way with him.
Ok. Cuando llegan a Telén, esta luz sigue el camino y se pierde detrás los caldenes.
They was arriving to Telen, but the light go ahead for the same way. in this
Y-
point, and they are disappear in Los Caldenes, in the streets.
Esta luz estuvo aproximadamente entre 5 a 7 minutos encima de la camioneta a unos 20 metros sobre ella.
The light stay already 20 minutos, dijiste?
Sí. No, 20 metros.
20 metros, perdón. Between 5 to 7 minutes, 20 meters direct on the truck, up the truck. No?
El avistamiento fue confirmado en la ruta 10 antes de llegar a Winifreda por el Corpam,
¿Qué es el Corpam?
el correo pampeano.
Correcto. There is a post, that's name is Corpam, and they confirm also to see the light. So then another official, another official voice that the post from La Pampa say that they say that also. Before, ¿en qué tramo vos?
Antes de llegar a Winifreda.
Before a place that name is Winifreda.
The witness, the secondary witness, his name was Jorge Especiale for the Corpam, correo pampeano.
Ok, ya lo dijiste en inglés.
Bien, es un caso que tiene testigos secundarios.
We have a secondary testified on,
Y que está radicado, inicialmente estuvo radicado en la comisaría de Telén, oficialmente,
and it was officially in the police from Telen eradicated the case.
y actualmente el archivo está, digamos, lo tiene la policía de Santa Rosa.
At this moment, the file is in the power from is in the police from Santa Rosa, and the file stay in the police from Santa Rosa.
Bueno, antes de comenzar
Santa
con
Rosa is the capital from La Pampa.
Ok. Telén queda a 180 kilómetros para que se ubiquen de Santa Rosa.
Telen is 80. Sorry, I was saying that sometimes some word in German. Sorry, I'm very sorry. Deeply sorry is a little bit similar to me. Telen is 180 kilometers away from La Pampa, from Santa Rosa, sorry.
There are many cases along the la ruta 10 Red 10 Road. Is a very hot point donde ocurren abductions, observación de objetos. Hay una estancia pasando Victorica que se llama La Luz.
We have many cases of abduction, like many others, and there is in fact a farm that names Delight.
Sorry, Daniel.
No, what I was going to say is I tend to be the timekeeper on our show, so we don't keep anybody too long. So I'm wondering, obviously there's a UFO phenomena going on in Argentina. There's an abduction phenomena going on. I don't want to leave Carlos out of this discussion. Could we move over to talking about another case that he might be more familiar with? Would that be possible?
Traducime, Laura.
Dice que no quiere dejar a Carlos fuera de la discusión.
No, ahí estamos cerrando el caso. Justamente lo que iba a hacer es
We are going to end the case, to leave a place Carlos to talk also.
pasarle
Okay,
ya
bueno.
directamente el caso a él.
Yes. he going to close the presentation and give the case to Carlos now.
Caso Pucheta.
Okay, could I ask one question? That
Yeah.
picture of the light,
Mhm.
is that a recreation or is that a picture that was taken by?
Is a recreation
Okay.
in base of testimony.
So the light followed the truck for many
Yes.
miles.
For over 7 minutes, 20 meters over the truck.
And the long, thin white line, did that come down from the object on the truck? Is that what you said, or did that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yes. There was a light up, and then there come a light also direct from the to the truck.
And it did hit the truck. The occupants of the truck felt or saw. Okay, good. I just wanted to
Yes.
make that clear.
Yes.
Okay.
Hay que pasarle a Carlos Vales
ok,
el caso de Pucheta, que después lo cierro yo con el psicodiagnóstico.
Bien. Voy a... Carlos, ¿estás por
Sí,
ahí? Hola, Carlitos.
acá estoy. Primero me presento.
Sí. Voy a dejar de
Bueno,
compartir un momento para que puedas
cómo no.
salir en cámara. Dale, Carlitos. Carlos, make
Bueno.
his presentation.
Presentation. Mi nombre es Carlos Vales. Desde los años 80 que investigo el fenómeno ovni y fenómenos paranormales.
Make investigations, science de X.
Hemos hecho muchos viajes, como dijo Gustavo, a La Pampa de investigaciones.
They had make many investigations en La Pampa.
Pero recorrí casi toda Argentina en busca de respuestas del fenómeno ovni.
But he is in all Argentina looking for this phenomenon in the many provinces we have.
En Argentina hay muchos casos de, como decía Gustavo, de abducciones y de encuentros cercanos del tercer tipo.
We have, like Gustavo say, many cases of abduction and encounters from the third type.
So my question for Carlos is, someone sent me some pictures of a rather unusual creature in the water. And I'm wondering if that's a case that Carlos has looked into.
No, this is the case from Laura, from the monster in the lake. The case is from Laura also. Estaba preguntando si tenías el caso del animal en el agua, entonces le dije que ese es el caso de Laura.
Es el de la... No,
Sí.
Lo que tengo es el caso de una posible abducción, supuesta abducción del Cabo Pucheta.
We are talking about this case that Gustavo had talked about, and that Carlos take this case from the Cabo Pucheta, from this policeman that in theory is abducted. We have made a presentation before to explain how it's happened and where it's happened, the case. And now is Carlos want to make explain the case from Pucheta, from the policeman.
No es el único caso que hay en Argentina sobre abducciones, sino que hay otros que le voy a nombrar. Dionisio Yanca.
That is not only the only case that is in Argentina, the case from abductions. We make a little statistic now. He said the names from the other abductions. Dionisio
Yanca, Villegas y Peccinetti.
Sí, seguí que son nombres. Decirlo,
Juan
sí.
Pérez, Sayago, Platner y Brunelli.
Yeah, all cases. You don't need to hear the
Todos.
name.
Y luego hay también casos de encuentros del tercer tipo,
And we have also
Eh,
cases from the third type encounters.
el caso Cutralcó, el caso Valvidares, el caso Lo Turco.
Case Cutralcó, case
Eh,
Vidales, case Lo Turco.
Esto es una pequeña presentación de la cantidad de casos que hay en Argentina,
Only to inform you that we have so many also cases.
que es un territorio grande en donde ocurren muchos otros fenómenos paranormales.
There is a big land, big territory that happen many others paranormal success and we have many cases also from different phenomena.
Y muchos seguimientos de luces anómalas que persiguen a los autos y a los camiones en las rutas.
And we have also many cases from lights that go perseguir share the tracks on automobiles from the people.
Si quieren, comenzamos con el caso Pucheta. Podés poner la primera
Sí,
foto
no. Sí. We start
mostrando a
with the
Pucheta.
case from Pucheta also. Just a second.
Ya está.
No, un segundito. Tengo que cambiar de pantalla. Ya estamos. Aquí. El primero, ¿no?
Sí.
Okay. I share for us, for everybody. Just a second. Yeah.
Bueno, este es el cabo Pucheta, Sergio Pucheta,
This is Sergio
que tuvo
Pucheta, the policeman.
una supuesta abducción en el año 2006 en
Sí.
la provincia de La Pampa.
2006, yeah, he is abducted in La Pampa, he said.
Próxima foto. Ahí está marcada la provincia de La Pampa.
Here is the province.
Centro, tirando hacia el sur de la República Argentina, y en la parte
Here is
superior,
province Buenos Aires, and here is Victorica.
en la parte superior hay una localidad a la derecha que se llama General Pico.
And here is General Pico.
La tercera foto muestra el cartel de General Pico.
Yeah.
Y es una localidad la más importante luego de Santa Rosa en La Pampa, que está a 120 kilómetros.
It is 120 kilometers away from La Pampa, from Santa Rosa, General Pico.
Esta es la comisaría donde trabajaba el policía Pucheta,
Here is the police officer.
Que hacía abigeato, es decir, para que no robaran el ganado, los cuatreros.
The Pucheta was working, looking around about the robbers that not take away the cows.
Yendo con su moto a un lugar donde siempre iba a
Vos decime
patrullar.
si cambia de positiva, ¿eh?
Sí, sí.
Okay. He was going with his moto, going and some place with the moto, and then happened that.
Bueno, ese es el lugar y donde el cabo desaparece.
And at this place, there was a point in the way that the Pucheta disappeared, literally disappeared.
quedando esos elementos en el piso, lo que se ven.
And you can see on the picture, this is a picture from this day, that they found that these things from Pucheta on the way. From
Eh,
Pucheta disappeared and they found all these things on the way.
The police department found
Yes,
his co-workers, his
yes. Well, they start to search Pucheta because he don't come. And I am sure that you want to know for sure how long he disappeared. That is
well,
not
he
naturally
left
the question.
everything. He left his phone,
Everything, his phone,
his
his
walkie-talkie,
everything,
his
everything.
radio, his gun. Did he
Yes.
have a gun? Is
Yes.
that a gun there? It's
Yes,
hard-
and the gun is also, this is very important, that the gun is also disarmed. The gun is,
The bullets are out of the
is-
gun. Okay.
yes,
Yes.
yes.
Bueno, los elementos que se ven ahí, la moto en el piso,
Yeah, the
junto
motor
con,
on the floor, on the way, on the
junto
floor.
con la pistola desarmada, el arma,
Sí, eso ya lo dije.
lo dijiste, las balas separadas una por una,
The bullets, one for one, separated. This
su
complete
celular,
the cell phone,
el radio policial desarmado
the
también,
radio, also disarmed, also in pieces.
y bueno, y luego estaba la casaca que ahí no se ve y otros elementos de
On the jacket that is not in the photo, but many other elements. He left the jacket, he left everything.
And this
Many
was a,
pieces.
I'm sorry, a motorcycle or a car?
Motorcycle. That's the car is from the police that investigate, but
Okay.
he was in a motorcycle.
So his motorcycle fell over,
Yes.
was left in the dirt?
Yes.
Okay.
Sí, una moto Honda Enduro 125.
And a Honda Enduro 125.
En ese momento,
At the
antes
moment,
de desaparecer,
before
llama
to
a
disappear,
un compañero de él
after.
que estaba de licencia.
After to disappear, he called a partner that doesn't work at the moment.
Porque había visto una luz extraña
Because
y se disponía a investigar.
he was looking a very strange light, and he wanted to investigate.
El compañero que estaba de licencia llamó al comisario para que vaya al lugar donde él estaba, que lo llaman el cañaveral.
And this colleague then called the commissary and called the commissary to say they need to go to the place named the Cañaveral to investigate.
Al llegar, encuentran lo que aparece en la foto y comienzan a buscarlo. Varios policías.
When they arrived at the zone, they found it that we can see on the picture, and Pucheta was big. And they started the searching from Pucheta.
Próxima foto. Ahí se va a ver los policías que estaban haciendo la búsqueda.
You can see all the police looking for Pucheta.
El jefe de policía de la provincia de La Pampa y el jefe de seguridad de la provincia de La Pampa.
The chief police from the province from La Pampa, the very, very high people in the institution, and the chief of security from the province of La Pampa. Yeah, I'm looking for also.
La próxima foto. Esa es una de las huellas que encontraron.
Yes.
En donde las estuvieron siguiendo.
They're
Por-
looking about these footsteps for
2.800 metros
5,100 meters,
hasta que desaparecen las huellas.
and this footstep disappear in the nothing.
En-
Disappear in the nothing.
So they followed,
En el-
Yes, they follow.
they followed them
they follow.
from his
Mhm.
motorcycle?
Yes,
Huh, okay.
there was a point. There was a point that this the footsteps are disappear.
un hecho importante es que en el camino de esos 2.800 metros, a veces las huellas estaban muy distanciadas y a veces llegaban a 3 o a 5 metros de distancia, que no podían dar esta persona un salto
Paso de
tan
esas
largo.
millas, sí. A very particular thing about these footsteps is the distance between sometimes 3 or 4 meters between the steps. There's not logic. For sure, you need to fly or something that take you when you put one foot in one place and then the next step in 3 or 4 meters. Sometimes in this way they are like normal walking, and sometimes in all this way the footstep they had very, very, very long distance between.
Siguieron investigando, pero se largó una tormenta. Próxima foto.
Like so many times also, other times that happen also that they continue to investigate, but start a very, very, very stark storm and rain.
Ese es el lugar donde desaparece.
On there is
comenzó
the place
el cañaveral.
el cañaveral, Pucheta disappear here.
Y comenzó una tormenta
and then
desde la 1
start storm science 1
hasta las 7 de la mañana.
1 a.m. to 6 a.m.
Cuando terminó la tormenta, comienzan a seguir siguen su búsqueda.
When the storm ended, they started to they continue to search.
Y 9 horas después, a las
9
16 horas,
9 hours later, at 4 p.m.
reciben un llamado de un dueño de un campo.
They have received a call from an owner from the farm,
Que había un policía uniformado en posición fetal
that he found a policeman in a fetal position like that
en una cuneta.
at the side of the way.
Cuando llegan al lugar, próxima foto,
When the police was arrived, found Pucheta in this position.
encuentran a
Pucheta
Pucheta ahí con el comisario a su izquierda y con un ufólogo
Here at this side is
a su derecha. El comisario fue acompañado de un ufólogo.
Another investigator at the other side.
Porque ya pensaban que algo extraño le había pasado.
And this is very particular that the commissary take with him one person, one investigator, but they start to suspect that some very strange has happened.
Pucheta estaba en un shock
Pucheta was
postraumático
in shock, post-traumatic shock,
y no podía ver la luz del sol porque
He
le
could-
hacía daño.
he couldn't see the light of the sun because they were very, very difficult, very hard for his eyes.
Y decía que él quería irse de ahí porque le habían dicho que le iban a volver a buscar.
And he said that he want to go from here because they said that they are coming back to take him. They are going to coming back to take him.
Llaman a una ambulancia y lo internan en el hospital de General Pico.
The police called the ambulance, and he is the ambulance take him from the hospital, the general hospital in General Pico in La Pampa.
Siempre Pucheta cubriéndose con sus antebrazos los ojos.
The whole time, Pucheta was with the arms on the eyes. He don't want to see even. He don't want to
Cuando se
see.
recupera, comienza a contar lo que se acordaba de su experiencia.
When he was recovered, he started to talk about the experience.
Él ve una luz roja que pensaba que era un auto.
At first, he had a light red to see. The first time he said, "I see a light, a red light."
Y
Sharing
después del llamado telefónico a su compañero, se pone a ver, a investigar qué podía ser esa luz.
And before the call to the partner, he started to investigate what can this light do.
En ese momento
At this moment,
ve un rayo tipo láser
he
que
looks
proviene,
a light like laser
que proviene de un ser pequeño de ojos rojos,
coming from some kind of being, some kind of human being, but not human, from red eyes, with the red eyes. Oh, sorry, I was.
que lo paraliza y lo paraliza y siente que ese láser le entra en todo el cuerpo y le hace vibrar el cuerpo como una electricidad le da en su cuerpo.
He feels that this laser comes across the body, on all the body, and he had to feel like a vibration on his body, and he cannot move.
En la próxima foto
The next
está
picture, we have
como él dice que eran estos seres, de los cuales vio dos.
there is a representation. There is not a photo and it's not a picture, but he say that these aliens are like that.
Comenzó a correr
He
por el
started
camino
to run away,
y ahí cuenta varias experiencias que le ocurrieron, por ejemplo, que le pasó toda su vida por delante.
and he said that at this moment, see his entire life between his eyes, running in the process, this process of running, happened many things.
En un momento él piensa que está pisando algo que no está sobre el piso, sino como que está en el aire.
At some moment,
Siente,
thinks that he's going ahead, that something that is not the floor, on something like to be on the air, and coincident with the footsteps that we don't found.
y también recuerda que pasaba por medio del ganado, de las vacas, y que los animales no lo reconocían, como que no lo veían.
And he said that the animals, he was between the cows, and he said that the animals don't recognize him like somebody that don't see, that even see.
Recuerda también que él ve un campo en donde estaba el maizal sembrado todo aplastado y arremolinado.
And he remembered also a place from corn, the corn that is all with a form like twist, like a circle in the corn, you know, the famous circles, like that the corn was all, me falta la palabra, all like pashed, the corn pashed, and in the big circle.
Él no se acuerda de mucho más de lo que le pasó.
He cannot not remember, not much more.
A pesar de que desapareció 18 horas y a 19 kilómetros de donde desapareció.
The case is that they found him 19 kilometers away and 18 hours disappeared.
Hay varias anomalías que se presentan en este caso.
There are so many anomalies in this case.
Por ejemplo, que perdió vista y se tuvo que hacer anteojos porque
For
ya no
example,
leía
for
bien.
example, he never used he have never had problems in the eyes, but he need to start to use glasses since that.
Cuando apareció tenía la ropa seca a pesar de la tormenta que que había sucedido horas antes.
When he appeared, his clothes are completely normal. Not in theory, he must to be declothed and nice because the rain, but it's not happened.
Y no se veía
was dry, no? Complete dry.
No se veía ningún tipo de huella en donde él apareció, a pesar de que el piso estaba embarrado, ¿no? Por la lluvia.
And at this moment that he appears, was raining after, and around Pucheta they cannot find any footsteps.
Y para resumir el caso, los borcegos los tenía atados y el pantalón fuera del borcego lo siempre llevó adentro. Y los borcegos estaban atados de distinta manera como él los ataba, ¿no?
And normally the policeman used typology from boots with a form to put the uniform inside the boots. And also they have a mood to put these boots together, and they found it this uniform outside the boots, and in another way they are put in another way that the normally he used to use.
Y tenía unos 20 pinchazos en cada planta de los pies o unas marcas extrañas que se lo descubrieron en el hospital cuando estaba internado.
When he was in at the hospital, the doctors found that he had under the foot many injuries, like with an hypodermic or something like that, 20 or more. ¿En cada pie, Carlos, o en total?
En cada palma del pie, en cada planta del pie.
On each foot, more of 20 injuries. That's in theory make with some hypodermics or something like that.
Hay un informe policial y hay un estudio sobre el arma que apareció desarmada, un peritaje.
There also an investigation from the police about his gun that appears disarmed.
Y para no hacerlo mucho más largo, Gustavo le ha hecho un estudio psicológico cuando fue a verlo.
He wanted to talk not more longer, but he wants to say that Gustavo make him a psychological test.
Y lo único que puedo agregar es que no la pasó muy bien.
And he can say that they are not a very good experience, that were hard.
Y que unos días antes de lo que le ocurriera, él había filmado.
Some days after that happened, ¿quién lo había filmado?
Él había filmado unas luces extrañas en el cielo.
Bucheta, okay.
Sí.
Bucheta, a few days after he has made a film from some lights on the sky.
Oh, later? After the experience?
After the experience, 1 week.
Un caso de alta extrañeza, muy alta extrañeza.
High level strange case. The qualifications about it, and they found it as this very, very high level strange.
Did Pucheta go back to working or not? Was he able to work
Pucheta
again?
¿Volvió a trabajar o no volvió a trabajar? No,
No.
never.
Never?
No. Incluso tuvo problemas con el cuerpo policial
Never.
después de lo que le pasó.
He had also a little bullying from the partners in the police at this moment from the because some people don't believe it, and he suffered bullying.
Dave, I hate to play the timekeeper role again here, but I think we're bumping up against 90 minutes here. And I want to thank people for contributing. Thank Laura for bringing on all these guests and our interpreter. So I'm going to turn to Laura Vanzulli for kind of the last comment here.
Okay. Yeah.
So,
Voy a terminar de compartir esto.
so what are your conclusions about what we've heard from Carlos And yeah, and Gustavo, what do you conclude about the nature of reality? That's something that always kind of intrigues me. What kind of conclusion do you come to after hearing your colleagues talk about these cases?
Yeah, I was thinking during all the time when I was listening these two friends that they are sharing these important stories. I think that we have many cases in Argentina, not just in the south, in the north, in the center of the country. You know, it's something parallel with all the cases that we have around the world. It's because of that I feel that this is a global situation. You know, the UFO sightings are something that is around the world, not just in one area, in every country, and paranormal is the same with that thing is the same. I was thinking about Travis Walton in Arizona, you know, that case that is very important in United States and is close to this police officer, you know, Pucheta in Argentina, the people that is missing, the abductions, you know, all of this is the same. I think that is the same. I think that we don't know exactly what is happening with these people. For sure, this is not something related with Earth. I think that these are extraterrestrial beings, that they are looking something. I don't know if these are the famous grays, you know, or what other kind of extraterrestrial, but I think that they are looking something from us. I don't know exactly. I was remembering other case in Corales, Brazil, you know, in the Amazonia. This is an important case. And the things that happened, it was the same with lights, you know, during the night. The Brazilian Air Force was there and they did an exercise, but we don't know exactly what happened. The people appear with some marks like pucheta, you know, in the body. And these things happen during the night when some strange rays of light went across the roof of the cabins when these natives live, you know, in the Amazonia in Brazil, and they had a lot of marks, and you know, they had holes, and the doctors checked all of these things, all of this stuff, and after that they were weak, sick, without energy. I don't know if these beings are looking for our energy, our blood, tissues. I don't know exactly, but they are close to us because they are checking about humanity. I can think these things, you know.
Yeah, there's definitely a mystery going on, and it's not confined to the United States. It's might be a worldwide kind of a mystery. Dave, do you have any final thoughts or
I want to
comments here?
know, thank you, Carlos and Gustavo, for a detailed description of these particular incidents. I know that there are probably many, many more details to look at. Are these cases published in Spanish or in English also? Can we go see the details of these? Are they in books? Have you written books about these particular cases? Because they seem very compelling and convincing, just because the amount of evidence, the number of witnesses. So more on that, please, if we could know where to look.
Preguntan si escribieron libros acerca de la experiencia. Que por supuesto podrían dar
Estamos en eso.
muchísimos más detalles, ¿no? Estamos en eso. Sí, we are in process to read a book that I
Okay.
need to say we are working also together because I'm going to make the edition about it.
Okay.
Es una propuesta que habíamos pensado con Carlos Vales.
It's a proposition that we are thinking about with Carlos.
Sobre todo porque en el caso puntual de Pucheta, los psicodiagnósticos dieron trastorno de estrés postraumático.
Because of that, because of this PTS, this traumatic, post-traumatic stress, because of that, they are thinking about to make it.
pero también los inventarios que utilizamos, que fue de Minnesota Multifaceted Personality Inventory, MMP2, Form 2, es un inventario de carácter forense que determina veracidad, falsedad del testimonio y normalidad y patología. Y más allá del estrés postraumático dio bien.
And this test that he named that he used, they had a very good result. Not they say that they have budget have only this post-traumatic stress, but not another pathologies.
Y aparte, creo que esto es lo más importante de todo.
And
Most
important at all.
No creo que lleguemos al último caso, que para mí es el más enigmático.
I think that we have not enough time to go to the last case, the last file that we want to present for today, but this the case that's more enigmatic case.
Pero hay la sospecha de que el fenómeno actúa en dos niveles, ¿sí? Uno físico y otro parafísico.
That we don't not presented yet, but we suspect that the phenomenon act in two levels, one level physical, another level paraphysic.
Con fenómenos paranormales asociados.
With paranormal phenomena in association with.
Con Carlos verificamos, por ejemplo, casos de apariciones de caballos blancos o
With Carlos verify horses or dogs, white horses or dogs.
Que desaparecían rápidamente ante el asombro de los testigos.
That they appear and disappear very quickly.
Como un test, como una prueba psicológica de respuesta, ¿no es cierto?
Like a psychological test to answer.
Y los pinchazos, como en el caso de Colares que bien mencionaba Laura, no solo son comunes en el caso de Sergio, sino que toda una familia.
These injuries, they are not only in the case from Sergio Bucheta, they are an entire family that present that also.
Presenta ese tipo de pinchazos, comenzando la experiencia con el padre, siguiendo con la esposa y terminando con el hijo.
Starting the experience with the father, and then the mother, and then the son.
Un trabajo que estamos investigando actualmente y cual, bueno, nos mantendremos informados.
They are already working about this case, and we keep in touch to inform you about the progress of this case.
We appreciate that.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Para cerrar, sé que no vamos a poder hablar del caso Rusto, pero quería marcar 3 o 4 cosas, Aine.
To the end, we want to signalize 2 or 3 things about the caso Ruston that we have not time to talk about it, but only to make a conclusion, he talked about that.
Él se encontró con una entidad cuasi inmaterial.
He met some immaterial entity.
Que se acercó a el frente de su auto.
This entity was going close to his car.
De color azul violáceo, forma ameboide.
There was like an amoeba, like transparent and a little blue violet.
Que se linkeó con su ritmo respiratorio.
And he started to move like breathe at the same time with his rhythms from breath.
Él sintió
together.
Una verdadera comunión con ese fenómeno y temió que se iba a unir a él.
he had the feeling from a deep communion with this entity, and he was afraid to be absorbed or to be forced to be together with this entity.
A lo que la entidad o el fenómeno luminoso se resumió en un punto y desapareció.
Because this fear, because this fear from him, the entity resumes his self and a little point and disappeared. Esto
ocurrió en la ruta entre Lobos y Roque Pérez, zona caliente.
This happened between in the route between Roque Pérez and Lobos.
En su auto, en la ruta 205.
In the route 202.
Hay que considerar que el comisario Julio Ruston es actualmente parte de las Task Forces o fuerzas de tareas de la provincia de Buenos Aires y de alto reconocimiento.
Ruston, the people from this case is police. This is part from the task forces. A very, very, very important change, very important level about the forces.
Y su experiencia y los psicodiagnósticos realizados comprueban la veracidad del testimonio sin estrés postraumático.
In this case, he had not post-traumatic stress, and they make this test as we are talking about, and the tests are perfect. He have also no problems.
Sintiendo como si ese fenómeno y él eran uno solo, como una especie de primera comunión, ¿no? Como un estado, digamos, de que eso era como una especie de diploma, ¿no?
Yes, he started to the feelings about Prostom, the feelings about this success. The was that they had very deeply communion, like a first communion. ¿Y qué más?
Y sintió como que el episodio fue trascendente, como si le hubieran dado una graduación.
And he felt like some graduation, some kind of graduation, or some kind of prize that he becomes in his life about this success.
Para cerrar,
and
todos los casos,
to the end,
muchos de los casos,
many from the cases,
de este tipo de experiencias, de encuentros de tercer tipo y cuarto, entre tercer y cuarto tipo,
between third and fourth type,
aparecen con una función cerebral aumentada.
Appear with a function highly increased, the brain function highly increased.
Y tal como el estudio de los grosos muestran también actividad a nivel mitocondrial celular.
And the study of the grosos como nombre o qué?
Eduardo y Liliana Grosso.
Yeah. The people named Eduardo and Liliana Grosso shows also activity in the cellular
Mitochondrial ADN, mitochondrial ADN, mitochondrial ADN, transformations. Estudio de Fabio Italia.
Perdón, Gustavo, ¿se podría relatar en otro momento que vos tenés más extenso el caso, más interesante y con imágenes? Podríamos relatarle en otro momento otros casos.
Yeah, Carlos offered, say Gustavo, that we can make it another time when you want the case that we have image about it, and we can talk more extensive about this case.
Okay.
Como siempre, Carlos,
It
buenos
sounds-
consejos.
Sounds very detailed and scientific. This sounds like maybe you can
Yes.
write a scientific paper about this. I mean, it could be very significant because of those details. So yes, much more time would be needed and maybe a book even or paper about this. I hope that they're
Sí.
pursuing.
Dice que ustedes
Scientific.
podrían estar escribiendo obviamente un paper o algo ya un poco más científico,
Ujú.
porque es evidente que hay bastante evidencia. ¿eh? Y bueno, que esto se podría escribir además de presentarse en otra ocasión.
Esa es la idea.
Con
y
más
conseguir una
detalle.
muestra. Esa es la idea, conseguir una muestra. Estamos pensándolo con Carlos Vales. Conseguir una muestra interesante, por eso esto está recién en los comienzos. Y trabajar con una reproducción de casos como el del trabajo de Sheila Moura y Norman Don.
They are thinking about it and they want to find they want to find some material to work about and write in the same way that the authors he named as Jill Lamoura and the other author in the same way, yes.
También estamos haciendo un estudio sobre la actividad solar y la actividad geomagnética con relación al fenómeno.
They are making also a research about the sun and energy and the electromagnetic they are making an study, sorry.
And solar. Geomagnetic and Solar Index.
The sun index. They are making a study that can provide a relationship between this phenomenon and the UFO phenomenon.
Yeah.
Wow. Very interesting.
Yes.
Well, I think, Dan, we need to come to a close here, right? But I want to follow up and get more details, because to me that I like the science part of this. It's hard to find good science in the UFO phenomena. Very difficult.
¿Entendés, Carlos? ¿Sí? Okay.
Oops, he's muted.
Dice que es muy interesante toda la parte científica de la que están hablando.
Está muteado, Carlos.
Sí.
Sí, desde ya, que si el fenómeno tiene dificultades o es un fenómeno de alta extrañeza que creo que es real. ¿Querés ir traduciendo?
Sí, I think that is a real phenomenon, and this high level from strange from this phenomenon, he thinks it's real. He think,
que interactúa con los testigos.
This phenomenon have an interaction with people about these cases.
Que hay una inteligencia detrás del fenómeno.
There are some intelligence in the phenomenon.
Y creo que el fenómeno es físico y psíquico.
I think that is a physical and psychical phenomenon.
Well, hopefully you can stay in touch with Dave and I about your ongoing research. And if you find anything interesting, you could pass that along. Once again, I'd like to thank you for taking your time out today to be with us and share your knowledge. And it's been a pleasure to meet all of you. And any final words before we close up shop here? Anything from you, Laura?
Well, I have a story
Laura,
about the
the other
cryptic.
Laura.
Oh,
Okay.
oh, sorry.
No, okay. Talking with Laura. Okay.
I don't know. The question is for me then?
Well, I guess what I'm saying is we're kind of running short on time. So I was looking for kind of some final comments from you. If you, since we started the show with you, I thought maybe you should be the one to give us your final comments.
Okay, it's okay. Well, I have something to share too, but I don't know if we have just 1 minute maybe to show something about a cryptid. I brought information about a strange animal in a lake too. This is other phenomena, you know, it's more than cryptozoology, but maybe I bring this to share the people the story. We don't have time today, but maybe other day, but
Yes,
just to maybe Aine, she can put
Yes,
one or two pictures
I'm going.
at the end, just to tell the people that we have a cryptid to a strange animal, you know, in the Lago Nahuel Huapi, is Nahuel Huapi Lake, and the people can see this in Bariloche. So.
okay, and maybe that's something we can attach, Dave can attach to the program when he puts it up as kind of a teaser for other things that we might talk about.
Yeah, maybe other day, but just to let the people know that we have this strange phenomena too, like Nessie in Scotland, we have our Nahuelito in Argentina too. Maybe other day I can explain more.
Okay, all right, thank you very much. So,
Thank you.
Buenas noches to everybody. Thank
Buenas
you for
noches.
interpreting for us.
Okay,
And,
okay.
thank
You're
you.
welcome. And yes, there's many. It's nice to me to make this interpretation. And thank you so much and for the patience.
Yeah, she
Sure.
needs to think in 2 languages. The rest of us are just in 1 language.
Yeah, I have trouble thinking in one
I
language,
know
so.
sometimes. But
Yeah, I want to say that you can share me also at my channel that I have. The name is Aine del Rio that you see here, and that near that is Mateada Ovni Colonia. Ovni is UFO for us. You see the
Okay.
mate, that's a very typical thing for us that here on the plate. And this is the channel is also on YouTube. You can share that also in Aine del Rio. Thank you so much.
okay.
Thank
Good.
you.
Thank
And
you.
Dave,
Thank you, Daniel.
yeah,
Thank you,
Dave
Dave.
will send you a link when this program is up and ready to put on the internet.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you very
Buenas
much.
noches.
Thank
Buenas
you.
noches.
Buenas
Muchas
noches.
gracias. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Ciao, ciao. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.